You already saw the title of the video, so let's just get right into it.
Making her thoughts. Making her thoughts. Making her thoughts. We all know the story of a girl with long blonde hair who lives in a tower, right? She likes to paint, has a reptile friend. Her kidnapper claims to love her and keeps her locked away to protect her from the outside world. Then the girl meets a man who she falls in love with, and together they defeat the villain and live happily ever after. We all know it, right? It's Barbie as Rapunzel from 2002. Oh, you thought I was talking about Tangled, didn't you? Yeah, that came out 8 years later. No, this video isn't about that. Or at least not entirely. I want to talk about the Barbie version of Rapunzel. Is it better? Is it worse? Who knows? Only time will tell. More specifically, the same amount as this video takes to end. For those of you who haven't seen the film, I already kind of summarized it for you. Similar to Tangled, right? But there are a few differences. Barbie Rapunzel's main dress is not purple, but pink. Her reptile friend is a dragon, and she also has a rabbit friend. Gothel does not claim to be her biological mother, but she does claim her parents abandoned her at birth. There are no lanterns involved, and the man she meets is a prince. In a way, Eugene is also kind of a prince, but that isn't revealed until Tangle the series, so... Okay, these will be the main differences, I would say. Now, let's get into the analysis and understand why this movie is so good, because I wouldn't be making these videos for any other reason. We begin the film by seeing where Rapunzel lives. Because she's been locked up for as long as she can remember, she dreams to one day leave her tower to see the world. Well, that day is closer than she might realize. While making Gothel some tea, she discovers a tunnel beneath the mansion. You know, compared to Disney's Rapunzel, this Rapunzel has a lot of space to work with. The girl is even allowed outside in the garden. And she's kind of forced to because she does all the chores around the house and in the garden. And if you're wondering how she is unable to leave, if she can, go outside, it's because Gothel put a magic barrier around the house, preventing anyone from coming in or out. And obviously only Gothel can break that spell. Okay, back to Rapunzel. Under the house, she finds a hairbrush from her birth parents with a line engraved on it, constant as the stars above, always know that you are loved. This proves that something is wrong with Gothel's story, which implied that her parents didn't care about her. We can also see a bit of Gothel's past as Penelope finds a painting where she is dancing with a man whose head has been ripped out of the painting. Then Penelope accidentally makes a hole in the floor, which reveals a tunnel hidden beneath the place. Rapunzel follows it and ends up in a market. Then she finds like a garden or woods. I'm not entirely sure what to call it. But anyway, she finds this place that you see on screen. Rapunzel then saves a little girl from falling inside of a hole within this place. In fact, Rapunzel was about to fall along with her had a man not caught her before that. It's love interest time! The man, his name is Stefan, but Rapunzel doesn't know that yet, tells her that the hole was actually a trap left by the troops of King Wilhelm. Apparently, Wilhelm and Frederick, the king of this land, are at war because the former believes the latter wronged him, despite Frederick defending himself over and over again. As Rapunzel is doing her thing here, we find out more about Penelope. What is this? Side character backstory? So her father is this guy, Hugo, who is loyal to Gothel and believes dragons should be frightening and courageous, which he sees his daughter as none of that. He keeps coming back into play, looking down on Penelope for staying with Rapunzel instead of being with Gothel. Rapunzel needs to go back home as it is getting late, and did I mention Gothel has an animal psychic as well? It's a ferret called Otto, and he finds out Rapunzel snuck out and reports back to Gothel. The snitch. Gothel interrogates Rapunzel over the matter, asking her about the boy specifically, but the girl doesn't even know his name. Because her kidnapper believes she's lying, she puts a spell on the tower to make it so tall she can't escape. Remember that hairbrush Rapunzel found? It turns into a magical paintbrush which can act as a portal. So Rapunzel paints the map of the places where she's been, walks through the painting, and ends up in the forest garden place where Stefan was resting after having looked for her tirelessly. He was about to introduce himself, but Rapunzel insists it's better he didn't. He invites her to the royal ball, the prince's birthday. She accepts, but the moment is interrupted by Penelope, who came for Rapunzel. Gothel threatens Hugo that if Rapunzel escapes again, he will be punished. So Penelope urges Rapunzel to get back. The girl follows and goes back home through a portal she paints on a door. Back in the tower, she's getting ready for the ball. Lo and behold, the brush can also make you dresses. Can someone give me the paintbrush, please? Gothel finds out about the ball and plans to go in Rapunzel's stead. She cuts off the girl's hair to use as a wig and puts a curse on the tower, which will not allow those with a lying heart from escaping. Before leaving the ball, Gothel chains Hugo, being skeptical of his loyalty given that his daughter is loyal to Rapunzel. So Hugo blames Rapunzel for this happening, but Penelope informs him that her friend returned home just to save him from any worse punishment Gothel might have thought of. This is when Hugo realizes his daughter has always been courageous, just not in the way he thought. She stood by Rapunzel even when she was told not to, being threatened with Gothel's wrath. Hugo is the one to figure out that Rapunzel may in fact not be trapped in the tower since she never lied to Gothel. This turns out to be true since she can just walk right through the spell and flies with Penelope to the castle. During the fight, we find out that Wilhelm declared war over Frederick's land since he believes that the king stole his daughter. This is when Gothel proudly admits it was her who kidnapped the girl. Remember that ripped painting from earlier? Yeah, that was Wilhelm. Gothel was delusional. She believed that he loved her and then felt cheated when he married someone else. So she took what she believed to be hers. Or what would have been hers, aka Rapunzel. The fight continues and Rapunzel manages to trick Gothel into walking through the portal she had painted earlier, sending the villain in the tower, which she cannot escape from because of her own unbreakable curse forbidding those with a lying heart from escaping. Otto actually follows her, and the guy is so loyal, you gotta give him props for that. Rapunzel is reunited with her parents, the kingdoms are at peace, Stefan and Rapunzel get married, and everybody lives happily ever after. Now you have to appreciate the story. For one, the villain has an origin story which ties in beautifully to the plot. She wanted revenge on the man she wholeheartedly believes deceived her. Not only did she kidnap his daughter, but also she planned it in such a way that she created the impression Frederick stole Rapunzel, making the two fight. And it would have worked had it not been for those meddling kids and their talking dragon and rabbit. Then you have Penelope, who, may I remind you, is a secondary character, okay? But she is given an arc of her own, character development, backstory. At the beginning of the film, she was afraid to fly over the magic barrier because of how high it is. But then she flies Rapunzel all the way to the castle in the end. Hobby's a really fun character too. He is mostly the comic relief, so there isn't that much that I can say about him. I just think he's a fun character, so yeah. Then there's Stefan, who isn't just Rapunzel's love interest. He helps her restore the balance and defeat the villain. This is going to be a pattern with these Barbie movies, by the way. While they are more likely to be watched by young girls who feel empowered by watching Barbie go through these adventures, the role of the Ken character is in no way diminished. It is a team effort and they together defeat the villain. Stefan sees the war between the kingdoms as not only foolish, but just bad. Their own people have to suffer because of an unresolved problem between two people. This is shown through this guy, who has a brother. Unfortunately, the two haven't seen each other since the war started, as people aren't allowed to travel between the kingdoms as a result. Stefan confronts his father and even suggests inviting King Wilhelm to his party in order to make the first step towards peace. Frederick denies the request, but that's kind of useless because Wilhelm crashes the ball anyway. Now, would I say it's better than Tangled? No. So then is it worse? Also no. I believe both movies have beautiful qualities which make them unique and fun to watch. Sure, there are many similarities, but when you watch them side by side, they feel rather different, because they are. So I like both of them equally. However, I would say Barbie as Rapunzel has a special place in my heart because I grew up with it, and even so, I love Tangled just as much. Now, it is up to you. Which movie do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy videos like this one, make sure to press that like button. I said that I want to remain objective when analyzing these movies, and I'm gonna keep that promise. For instance, there may be a plot hole within Barbie as Rapunzel, and that is the magic barrier, because it doesn't encapsulate the palace. It has like a ring on top that you can go through. And I just wonder, did Gothel never take into account that maybe Penelope would end up getting the courage to fly over the barrier and take Rapunzel with her? Maybe it's just something she never thought about, I guess. Every person makes mistakes, but it is something that I would say the writers could have thought about. And also, why is Gothel just keeping all that evidence of Rapunzel's past underneath the house? Why did she not destroy those objects? You are clearly able to destroy them because she does actually make the paintbrush into tiny little pieces somewhere at the end. So, she could have just gotten rid of it. I don't know. But does having a plot hole make it a bad movie? No, I don't think so. There's many critically acclaimed films, shows, franchises that have plot holes. And because the rest of the film is enjoyable, that tiny detail doesn't bother you too much. And again, you can find some explanations here and there for those things, but it could just be a genuine and honest mistake. Now we are done with Barbie as Rapunzel. Tune in for next week when we're going to be talking about Barbie Swan Lake. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, bye!